A silent crisis looms, how a tiny element is fueling a global tech war. While most people haven't heard of it, a quiet battle over a little-known element called yttrium is brewing, threatening to disrupt the very technologies we rely on daily. This rare earth metal, crucial for everything from jet engines to smartphones, has become the epicenter of a growing tension between the United States and China. And this is the part most people miss. It's not just about trade tariffs. It's about control over the future of advanced technology. For months, the aerospace, semiconductor, and energy industries have been sounding alarms. Yttrium, a key component in high-tech manufacturing, is in short supply. Prices are skyrocketing. Deliveries are delayed, and production lines are at risk of grinding to a halt. Despite a temporary truce between the US and China over rare earth minerals, the underlying issues persist. But here's where it gets controversial. China, which controls nearly the entire global supply chain of yttrium, has been strategically tightening its grip, leaving the rest of the world scrambling. Last October, a meeting between Chinese President Xi Jinping and former US President Donald Trump in South Korea sparked hope for a détente. However, China's export restrictions, introduced in April 2023, remain largely in place. Beijing granted a one-year reprieve on its mandatory licensing system for rare earth exports, but this was contingent on the US suspending its own restrictions on tech supply chains. The catch? Other pre-existing measures continue to strangle the international supply chain, threatening to slow innovation, raise costs, and destabilize entire industries. Why yttrium matters? Yttrium isn't just another mineral. It's the unsung hero of modern technology. Its unique ability to enhance thermal and mechanical strength makes it indispensable in extreme conditions. For instance, jet engine blades, which endure scorching temperatures and intense vibrations, rely on yttrium to maintain their integrity. Similarly, in semiconductor manufacturing, yttrium-based coatings protect machinery from chemical wear, ensuring precision in processes like plasma etching. Without it, production of aircraft engines, high-efficiency turbines, and advanced energy systems would face immediate setbacks. China's dominance, a geopolitical time bomb. Here's the crux of the issue. China doesn't just produce most of the world's yttrium. It also controls the complex refining and separation processes required to extract it from other rare earth minerals. According to U.S. data, the United States imports 100% of its yttrium needs, with 93% coming directly from China. This dependency creates a staggering geopolitical vulnerability. When China imposed export restrictions in response to U.S. tariffs, the global supply chain began to falter. Companies reported delays, licensing hurdles, and unpredictable delivery times. In an industry reliant on just-in-time deliveries, even minor disruptions can trigger major crises. The impact was immediate. Yttrium oxide prices in Europe surged by 4,400% since the start of 2023. Aerospace and semiconductor firms heavily dependent on this material have sounded the alarm, urging the U.S. government to boost domestic production. The global ripple effect. The situation is further complicated by dwindling reserves outside China. Warehouses are running low, with some traders reporting near-empty stocks. Chinese exports to several countries have dropped by 30%, and Beijing's flexible export policies allow it to modulate shipments based on political priorities. This volatility makes the market fragile, highlighting the world's over-reliance on a handful of suppliers. Xi's strategic play, targeting U.S. defense. Politically, the trade truce between Washington and Beijing has yet to yield concrete results. Negotiators have until the end of November to clarify terms for rare earth exports to the U.S., but the gap between their priorities remains wide. China is developing a licensing system that would prioritize companies with no ties to the U.S. military. potentially sidelining Western firms operating in dual-use sectors. Meanwhile, Beijing is tightening control over technical expertise, restricting travel for rare earth specialists, and banning exports of advanced processing technologies. Countermeasures. A long road ahead. The U.S. is fighting back, but progress is slow. Projects like Re-Element Technologies in Indiana aim to produce yttrium oxide domestically, starting with 200 tons per year. While this is a step toward diversification, it's a drop in the bucket compared to total U.S. needs. During a recent Asia visit, the U.S. and Japan signed an agreement to jointly exploit the Minamitori undersea deposit, a massive rare earth reserve in the Pacific. However, extracting these materials from extreme ocean depths will require enormous investment and time. The bigger question: can the world break free from China's grip? China shows no signs of relinquishing its dominance, leveraging its control over yttrium as a strategic bargaining chip. The absence of a complete supply chain outside China makes the transition slow and complex. Here's the controversial part. Is the world willing to invest the resources needed to build an alternative supply chain? Or will we remain hostage to geopolitical tensions? What do you think? Is it time for a global effort to diversify rare earth production? Or is China's dominance here to stay? Let us know in the comments.